Fantasia and the Sorcerer's Apprentice was a very inspirational piece for me as an art student. It just now is such an honor to go back and be able to work on this. I worked at Disney, and Fantasia, Mickey, or Sorcerer's Apprentice was everywhere. They built the animation studio, and the entire front foyer is the big sorcerer's hat built into the architecture. So it's a very meaningful piece and part of Mickey's history. So we did all kinds of sketches of different things, incorporating the brooms, kind of marching up, bringing the water. But where we landed was really staying true to just Mickey and that signature pose of where he's just bringing the waves to a crescendo and just enjoying the power that he's wielding with this hat. And then we wanted to have a little fun and bring the wax dish and kind of mimic that moon shape that's on his hat into there. And also that blue of that dish brings in that cool tones of the water. So that's where we went with the three dimension of it. But what's really fun is what we were trying to tell in terms of the water. We wanted the energy and the line of action. We sculpted into the front base of the warmer here. Those crags in the rock are at an angle which mimics his pose, his line of action. So we took that energy and put it into the sculpt, but we also wanted to fill the room with that as well too. So we have a projection out of the back, which is inspired by all that effects animation in the movie where the water, just waves of water crash over and have that big curving kind of tidal wave. The idea to make the plush and the warmers all happens at the same time, and then it kind of gets disseminated out to the team to start working on it. But that's when our conversation really starts as well, is how do we keep continuity between the versions we're making and make sure that they hold up and they look the same.
The buddies typically are a little bit more just character forward, right? But there's times where we have a conversation. What is the concept that you're telling in the warmer that we would also like to convey in the buddy? I think this was one of our first samples that we had our factory make, and we were, at first glance, we were like, they did really a great job, right? And so you start looking and you're like, oh, okay. But then as we start to look at the details, the face was a little squished, and so sometimes you can kind of manipulate and squish and make it work, but that was really important for Mickey. And so Jason, really fine-tuned just even the shaping of the nose and everything. And then we did start looking at the hat and then comparing this and then also style guides. And we did realize, oh, they are a light blue, where this may have just been either a miss on the concept art or even our factory kind of thought, oh, the stars are white, let's just do white. So each iteration we fine-tuned something a little bit different. And then for the final, this is when Jason really put his foot down and said, that hat has got to be bigger.
On many competitive samples where people make a Sorcerer's Apprentice, the hat is like this tiny little 2-year-old little birthday party hat on his head. And he's actually wearing the sorcerer's hat, who's a human, who's this big, bigger than, larger than life. So the hat should be like twice the size of what people normally make it. So we were able to make this hat as big as we could.
Well, even the curvature at the top on the final one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we had that kind of hinted on there too. So, and that's something that other folks had not included, was that kind of neat little attitude to the tip of the hat.
I think that's why our licensed plush is so great, because Jason's had that context with the characters and just those fine details that really push it and make it better, yeah.
For this fragrance, it was very specific. I mean, on some of the other projects we worked on, you think of the franchise as a whole, but this was really specific. Knew that it definitely had to have a watery feel, kind of celebratory feel, but definitely wanted to play into the water, which I know doesn't actually have a fragrance to it. So then again, that builds the story.
For our licensed Buddy Box packaging, we do product illustrations. So it's essentially taking the final plush sample and then using that as a reference and then drawing from that. So the Mickey Sorcerer's Apprentice box specifically, the film has a lot of energy, has a lot of movement. So we took, different character poses of Mickey, full color, and utilize that with different franchise elements within the pattern to create that energy so it coincides with the IP. We wanted it to really feel special because it is a part of the 85th anniversary. And I think, capturing that timeless feel was really important.